Anyway, next up, Project Orbal Gear 4, Part 1. This is really just Trails from the Sky the Third, isn't it? I guess development would move to... Well, I guess it did move to the Thor's campus in Cold Steel. It looks like most of the problems have been addressed. The combat data from the last test proved useful then. Barry, I owe the team a lot. The Orbal Gear 3 is officially complete. Then you get a passing grade, I suppose. So, what next? Oh, I haven't given that much thought, actually. Which means your schedule is open. Try analyzing this. What is it? No questions. Huh? But then how? Oh, you want me to figure that part out? There's no rush in your findings, nor is there a need to provide periodic updates. You're free to proceed however you wish. Is there something else? No. It's just you seem to be so swamped with your work lately, I was wondering if I could help lighten the load. Oh, this team. Alisa and George really stand out here. Why are all of you here? Free to drop in, Tita. We're just escorting your mom. And I'm here on a job. A very troublesome job, as it so happens. How so? I can't wait. There's something much more important here than work. Time to hug and squee. And that's you, my baby's breath bundle of cuteness. Oh, how your mummy has missed you. Mom! They've only gotten cuter. I can't believe it. It's a scientific marvel. They could have loss against going over cute capacity, but I just can't take it. Stop it, Mom. Everyone's watching. Let them. I get to hug and kiss and love my favorite little girl. My just tank's been running on empty for months. Professor, just let her get it out of her system. Poor Tita. Please, this is so embarrassing. If you're going to fritter away my time, do it where I can't see it. I'm so sorry. My apologies. I sometimes forget that my enthusiasm could give a man with already one foot in his grave a heart attack. There you are with that cheek. I would assume you were that child, if I didn't know that was your daughter standing next to you. Why, thank you. My imagination is as rich as a child's. A good thing too, since my partner now is a senile old fart whose last good idea may have predated our concept of time. The nerve. I can't tell if they hate each other, if this is just their thing. I think it's just the latter. She's the only engineer I know who can have at it with the professor. Probably because she's gonna be him in 30 years. Unlike her old man who just loves throwing whatever shit he can find together, these two develop tech with specific goals in mind. They also don't mind throwing everyone else under the bus if it means meeting those goals. Hey, Red, I got ears. So, job? Right, time to get down to business. So you're forming a team to handle problems the Black Workshop left behind? In short, yes. The workshops left scars all across the land. Their weapons, autonomous and otherwise, are on the black market. It could be people are scavenging for remnants of them. However they're going about it, it's going to be a problem in time. The guild's on full alert. That sounds rough. No wonder you're here. I came here as a representative of CCF after receiving a formal request from the Imperial government. Professors Schmidt and Russell are acting as the linchpins of the team. I'm here since I was connected to the workshop, and the guild is working with us as a safety measure. All of this is being coordinated via the Rhineport Company. I guess that explains why Alisa and George are here. We'll be investigating old sites while figuring out what to do with the weapons we find in said sites. I see. I'm surprised you agreed to help, Professor. I don't see it as helping. All I want is the data the Black Workshop left behind. Yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on it all. You do have a one-track mind. Do you think I could be a part of the team? I'd love to be of some help. Well, you don't have to do a thing, Tita. But I did say this job is troublesome, but as you can see, we have more than enough people to go around. And it didn't come all this way for nothing. We don't even have to worry about funding since RF and the government's footing the bill. Father was such a large part of this that my mother and I are by default. If it takes all of Rhinefort's resources to put an end to it, then that's just what we'll have to do. And if anybody tries to get rough, they got the bracers to let them know what's what. I mean, I was never going to worry about that. I know you guys are there. And you know, we're all set. The best thing you can do right now is focus on school. But what about you? You're in school too. I sure am. Dean Collins allowed this as part of extracurricular activities. I might even present a new thesis based on my findings. So why can't I do what you're doing? There's nothing you can do for this team. Look at this doodad that I gave you earlier. But I'll make sure Makarov's damn niece doesn't set fire to the building while I'm out. Oh, Professor, I know Mint can be a lot, but even she wouldn't. Whoa, that wrench went flying! Huh? How did it get caught in the vent? Whoa, it caught on fire! This place is about to go up in smoke! I'm on my way. Oh, that was just the prologue. I guess this does say part 1. It's gonna be a long one. So we'll be hanging out in the Empire for a little while. How long exactly? This particular problem's pretty broad, so we're thinking it'll take about 4 months or so. That long? Dan and that maniac should be able to hold down the fort just fine. I've got some things that need taking care of as soon as I'm back, but who could resist all this workshop business? Are you sure there isn't anything I can do to help? It's fine, don't worry, my little angel. The schedule itself isn't very packed, to be honest. Most of our time will be spent on data analysis. Yup, and if anything decides to get in our way, we'll give him a real smackdown and settle things in a jiffy. But don't stress, okay? But I want to help you guys. You're my friends. And if push comes to shove, I can always sacrifice this guy here. I don't mind. Don't kill my boyfriend. Oh, Agate, you silly, stupid man. Why would I have you resort to sacrificing you? Why would I have to resort to sacrificing you when there are so many other fun ways to use a pack mule over the next 4 months? Fun, huh? You can lay off the murderous intent anytime now. It'll be fun, right? Fun for me. Agate is stuck looking over his shoulder for the rest of his days. It's like your obsession with Agate has gone into overdrive after he and Tita went to the Empire. You do live a life of suffering, don't you? A normal person would have killed over by now. Must be the A-rank bracer in you. Can you not sound so impressed? What's got you so giggly? Just seeing us all together like this brings me back home, is all. Well, home will always be there for you when you're ready for it. And since things are more or less back to normal, how do you like your school, Tita? The press couldn't stop talking about Thors during the war, especially your instructors. Well, everyone's really nice. There's lots of funny and interesting people around here. I was a little afraid when I first came here, but now I feel totally fine. That good, huh? Sounds like you've made some wonderful memories. Yeah. So make sure you give them a proper goodbye so you don't sour those fond memories. Huh? Don't worry, once you're settled, you can invite all your friends to come see you in Liberal. Come to think of it, I need to carve out some time in my schedule to talk this out with your instructors. Is she just going to force her to come back home? What a way to drop it. I'm not just here on a job, Tita. I'm here to take you back home. Why? This is so out of nowhere. Not as much as you think. I heard that the branch campus stood in opposition to the government during the war. You think I'd leave my daughter in such a dangerous place after hearing that? There's a good reason behind that. We were just trying to... The reason isn't the point. We were caught and put under house arrest for a while, weren't you? Sure, but it all worked out. And if it hadn't, All it would have taken was a single small mistake and I might have never seen my little girl again. I still can't bear the thought even now. Mom. I know you might hate me for taking you back, but I can't handle that. I can't handle losing you. But I want to stay here longer. Come on, Erika, she's been working her ass off over he sip it, Agatha. If you'd protected her like you were supposed to, she wouldn't have been in danger in the first place. Who was it who was so cocky when he said he'd keep her safe the day he left, huh? Because it's certainly not you. Don't blame him for this. No one could have predicted what happened, and I just didn't have the experience to... No, she's right. If I'd done my job, you wouldn't have been in half the trouble you were in. I got nothing to defend myself with. Still... With that said, let me ask you this. Why do you want to stay after all that's happened? Well, I'm still in the middle of classes. It'll be another year until I graduate. That doesn't matter. You don't care? Not as much as I care about the real reason you came to Urbonia. I want to study under Professor Schmidt and complete the Orbal Year 3. And since Estelle and Joshua couldn't come here before, I figured I could be the one to help Oliver out. Now those answers matter. I read your report. I think you did amazing work on the Orbal Gear 3, which of course my daughter would. Prince Oliver is safe, and your friends can now enter the country with no problem. From where I'm sitting, you've already gotten everything you could want out of Urbonia. When you put it like that, maybe, but... Did all of you know Mom came here to take me home? Yes, we did. We tried convincing her otherwise. You sure you won't reconsider? I think you know what I'll say to that, Estelle. But Tita really likes it here. What's the harm in letting her enjoy it while she's still in school? She likes being at home too, and there's nothing she couldn't learn in Liberal that she'd learn in Urbonia. That means it's time for her to come home. That's not true. If I can keep producing results, then that proves there's more I could stand to learn here, right? I guess? We'll be here for a while, so I see no reason not to entertain the idea. We'll have plenty of time to wait for her to produce results. Results on what? We'll be operating out of the branch campus, as it's where Professor Schmidt is staying. I highly doubt Tita will be in any danger between now and when we leave. No way she would. Fine. Really? Yes, really, but on two conditions. First, you must produce results that convince me within 4 months. Second, after that, you must clear a test of my choosing. If you can fulfill those two conditions, I'll let you stay at Thor's till graduation. Fair? Fair. Alright, it's life or death here, so let's kick off our first official meetup for Project Orbal Gear 4. Didn't you just finish Orbal Gear 3? What's the new thing? So it is life or death. There's no such thing as going overboard today, because we're as on board can be. We'll need every resource the engineering team here can get their hands on, so let's rock this out. Hi, lassie. Okay, Mr. Pirate. We don't plan on skimping if you're at stake. That's so sweet. Okay, so I do have to help my uncle with this project, so I won't be able to help all the time. Sorry. Can't say we're gonna be much help either. Okay, I can't do that accent. It's like fucking Irish rather instead of piratey. We might have some trouble following along when it comes to the more complex aspects of this project. That's okay. Just having you here means the world to me. I've got to be the one to handle most of it. If I hand too much over, then it's like I've lost the point of it being given to me. You're so nice. That's the spirit. Forget everything else. We're here for you 100%. Let's do this. Thank you, guys. That's what's his Spanish name. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's really kick off our first official meetup for Project Orbal Gear 4. Keep saying first, miss. So how many more meetings do you got planned with this project? 0. We've only got 4 months. If we don't figure out what we need to do right now, we're gonna be screwed on time. And why call it the first? It felt cool, you know? I was just going with it. So, Tita, number 4, eh? You just finished developing the Orbal Gear 3, right? It can't be easy trying to one-up yourself so soon. If you're going to convince the professor to let you stay, shouldn't you go with less of a challenge? No, it has to be this. My mom designed the first Orbal Gear. If I really want her to recognize my skills, then improving the very thing she started is the way to go. Guess that makes sense. Want to hear another word from us? Where do we start? Do you have a concept in mind for Little Baby 4 that's better than Big Daddy 3? It's a wee world in that little noggin, Gustav. Trying to understand it, it'll just day your own heating. That's what I'm stuck on right now. It's just some rebranding. Everyone's helped turn the Orbal Gear 3 into something with incredible specs. Surpassing that is going to require some major overhaul. I don't even know where to start. They'll put a damper on things. Yeah, just look at that weird thing that the professor gave you. It's probably going to be the answer, because, of course, why would you show it otherwise? You know, I felt my heart skip a beat when I saw the first mech flying around. What about that? What about that? Flying? Yeah, that could... All those faces? It's a roller coaster of emotions. Need more faces than I think I was going through pics in a stereoscope. I couldn't even tell if you liked the idea or not. I like the direction, but we wouldn't be the first to do it. Well, the Orbal Gear is a Russell thing, isn't it? It is, but 2 years ago, CCF and the Epstein Foundation joint developed something called the Eidolon Gear. It's like a sister weapon of the Orbal Gear. Oh, like Elisa's Exa? Yeah, but 3 companies were involved with the Exa, whereas the Eidolon Gear mostly has Foundation tech to make it stand out. I'm almost certain it was capable of manned flight. Wow, ain't that something? Is there a reason the 3 didn't incorporate it, if the technology's already out there? Well, to be honest, it's just because I just don't know a whole lot about the Eidolon Gear. That's an easy fix. Just gotta ask. Time to call Tio. Tell us about your S-Craft. Answer any questions you have. Thank you so much, Tio. Is it fueled by CP? The CCF helped make it happen, so it's the least I can do to share. To start, the Eidolon Gear did achieve flight to some degree, but it was far from perfect. What happened? 2 things, performance and operational time. It's possible to fly with a pilot in the seat, but add another Curum and performance drops dramatically. It also significantly refuses how long it can operate. That's a weird way to say it. I mean, decreases? It isn't designed for multi-purpose work for long periods. Forget flight combat. Let's see, the Orbal Gear 3 solved the operational time issue and adapted well to suit its pilot's needs on the spot. Another thing is that the Eidolon Gear can't function without first linking with the Aeon system. It was a progressive machine for its time, but also came with some very big limitations. Then adding a flight function to the 3 wouldn't be such a bad idea after all. Not bad, it's pure brilliant is what. It sounds like it would work much better than anything that's come before it, yeah. But it's not like we can just slap it on, right? It's only got so much heft, and it's not like we can apply some kind of booster like with the Panzer Soldats. Won't be easy bearing around tight turns with how it's built too. Not easy isn't the same as impossible, so no matter how hard it is, I'm going to make it happen. Okay. I feel like just slapping thrusters is gonna be real lame, honestly. But maybe Tita can get herself an S-Craft out of it. How's progress going? We brought snacks! Oh, hi Sandy, hi Freddy. I slept here. What's in it? Huh? It's a special blend of 7 kind of bugs that help fight fatigue. It's bitter! It's so bitter! What is this deep, rich aftertaste? It's like I'm being swathed in a warm blanket of pure energy. Did you say 7 bugs? I feel like a whole new Tita now. Nothing beats a second win, right? Well, like nothing beats whatever it is you just gave me. I guess she didn't hear the bug part. I got some sandwiches too if you're hungry. I'd love some, Sandy, and thanks a bunch, Freddy. No thanks needed. Anything for a cooking club, comrade. I kinda just broke my water bottle. Trying to put it back together, give me a second. Okay, there. No thanks needed. Anything for a cooking club, comrade. Was she in the cooking club? Doing a lot of work there. We're in your corner, Tita. Next year wouldn't be the same if you weren't there to cook for us. I really want to stay too. So far so good on the plan then, I hope. Well... I've made a prototype after prototype, but none of them quite make the cut in terms of specs. I feel bad since everyone's going out of their way to help, but to be honest, I'm stumped. Have you tried asking Professor Schmidt? I don't know, he might just glare at her before brushing her off. I know he's a little scary up front, but I think he'd still give me a hint if I asked. It's just that I don't want him to. My friend's helping me out is one thing, but he's a professor. If this whole thing moves forward based on the input of someone whose mom's equal, then is it really my project anymore? So when I hit a wall on something, I do something else to take my mind off it. Oh, you know, I do that too. If I'm stuck on cooking, I'd like to go out hunting. Want to take a run through the mountains? I'll pass on the mountains, but I like the direction this is going. Actually, I haven't analyzed that device Professor Schmidt gave me yet. I think I'll start there. Who knows, maybe I can even solve it if I pull another all-nighter. What? I love being sleep-deprived. Different strokes, Sandy. Do what makes you tick, Tita. As long as you don't overdo it, anyway. Thanks, you two. I run best on 2 hours of sleep. What's up with this reaction? Is this some sort of gravitational engine? But how is it so small? I can't think of any practical use for this off the top of my head. It could be a prototype. I think I get why the professor gave this to me now. Yeah, and now here. Professor Schmidt, do you have a moment? Only just? Keep it brief. What's up with that device you gave me? I thought I told you there wasn't a need for periodic updates. It's not that, I just wanted to confirm something about how it's used. Do whatever you want with it. Huh? I said do whatever you want with it. Now, no more questions. Then I will. Thank you, Professor. I'll see you later. He's gonna magically make the bot lighter or something so it can fly. Is it a Mass Effect engine? Are we Mass Effecting right now? They just put an element 0 in the game. It's blue now! Time for the final operational trial. I guess it'll have to be. You've only got 2 days until you present your findings to Erika. You gotta be proud of how far you've come. Maybe. I never dreamed the unit the professor gave me would turn out to be a new gravitational engine. The internals were really unique, so it took a lot of tweaking to make it work. After fitting it to this prototype, I couldn't believe the kind of results I was getting. That's kind of bullshit. So that set the direction I needed to follow. After that, new ideas just kept coming, and the prototype was done before I knew it. I've done a few flight tests and made improvements after each, and now... ready for the last one. What is it, Agate? Nothing, I just like how passionate you are. There's much already. Sometimes I just get the fire, in me and I can't stop yammering. Anyway, thanks for coming with me today. Like I'd let you come all the way out here alone. Why did you pick a spot in the middle of nowhere like this anyway? Well, this is my last chance to collect data, so I wanted to make the most of it. Nobody comes here, and the elevation is naturally uneven. It's just perfect for flying around. Makes sense. Well, go wild. I'll be here watching you the whole way, so let me know if you need anything. Head pats. Allude. You can't do this, Agate. They really just put thrusters on it, huh? Man, it feels kind of bad that they have this thing, but they also just have the soldats running around. Like, what's the benefit of using this over the mechs, the big mechs? I don't quite get that. It seems like the other mechs are Like, they're more mobile than this. I guess they're larger, which may or may not be a disadvantage. Uh, like, you can handle tools with them. They can fly. They protect the user more. They have a cockpit. This thing just feels obsolete. It's a big success. Huge! I'm bound to be satisfied by numbers like this. Awesome. Guess all that's left is for Mama Bear to go over it with a fine-tooth comb. He's gonna look at the engine and be like, wait, I made this. You can't use that. Thanks so much for all the help, Agatha. Maybe it's a bit premature to be saying this before Mom gives the okay, but I'm gonna need more of that while I'm at the academy. Yeah, I got you. The guild's still understaffed in the Empire, so I wasn't planning on heading home anytime soon. Or it might be something from the Black Workshop, so I just have to throw it away. Come to check on you every so often, it's easy enough. Yay! What's this? Something's up with that airship. Could it be some kind of mechanical failure? The pilot can't ascend, it's going to crash into the mountain. Oh, she's going to trash it before the test. Its flight field's completely down. Can someone in there hear me? Or you? There's no time to explain. Just please hold on tight to something. I'll do what I can. I need to elevate it somehow. Full power! This isn't enough. Might have been better to just shift it to the side. Why did she call out Agatha's name? Whew, I did it. Now I just need to get back to Agatha. Huh? Don't tell me it overheated. I'm fucking dead. I'm so sorry. If I hadn't run off like that on my own. I'm teasing. You've got nothing to apologize for. You probably saved the lives of everyone on that airship. You did the right thing, Tita. You mean it? Still, you might be safe. But we can't say the same for the Orbal Gear 4, huh? Why is this jackass here? The two eventually descended to the bottom of the canyon and recovered the Orbal Gear 4's wreckage. Unfortunately, it was clear that a few days wouldn't be enough to fix it, and peculiarly, the new engine fitted within was nowhere to be found. Did someone just fucking steal it? In the end, Tita returned to the branch campus in low spirits. Agatha gently patting her on the back in an effort to cheer her up. Oh, it's it was one of the relics. That was part of this guy's armor. I see. Makes sense. Alright, there we go. Another mission complete. An extra 5 RP.